Hello, one and all, and welcome to my weekly review for NXT. We're going to take a look at everything that took place on the June 1st edition of NXT. I want to apologize for getting this review up very late. It's been a busy week for myself with the Penguins in the Stanley Cup Final and just working a lot of hours. It's been tough getting videos uploaded here on YouTube. But I did want to give you my thoughts and opinions on the final edition of NXT for NXT TakeOver The End next Wednesday. I hope to bring you a live review for that show, depending on what I'm working that day. So that remains to be seen. I'll keep you guys posted on that. But overall, I thought this was a solid edition of NXT from start to finish. There was a number of quality things on this episode. And without further ado, let's take a look at what took place. So we kicked things off tonight with the Revival. They made their way to the ring. They cut a promo saying that they're going to take back their NXT Tag Team Championships from the American Alpha. Eventually, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa come out to the ring. They confront the Revival, and they tell them pretty much that everyone knows that the American Alpha is the better of the teams between Dash and Dawson and Alpha themselves. Dawson tells Gargano and Ciampa that they need to go back to the bingo hall from where they came from. Eventually, the Revival leave the ring, but Gargano and Ciampa challenge them. They say, if you're the top guys, why are you running away? And they get back into the ring and are met with a drop kick from Gargano and Ciampa. And this will eventually set up for a tag team match between both teams, and we'll get into that later on in this review. But overall, I thought this was a solid opening promo. I really like the team, the pairing of Ciampa and Gargano. I think they make a good team. They just work well together in the ring. They have a good, tremendous amount of chemistry with one another. The crowd likes them. I'm liking them. They're a great addition to the NXT Tag Team division. And, I could definitely see them being a rising team for the NXT Tag Team division, like I said. So, enjoyed the way that NXT kicked off this week, and like I said, this in-ring confrontation would eventually lead to the match being set up, so that was nice to see the continuity continue from segment to match. After this, we had Shinsuke Nakamura being interviewed. He pretty much said that at TakeOver The End, Austin Aries will bow down to the King of Strong Style. Can't wait for Nakamura versus Austin Aries. Should be a tremendous match, and we then had Buddy Murphy versus Ty Dillinger in what was not too bad of a match. I'd say it was fairly solid for the most part. I was glad to see Ty Dillinger get the win here. Buddy Murphy, as we all know, Blake is injured. Alexa Bliss split off from them. So it looks like he's going to be given a singles push here. Like I said, I thought him and Ty had a pretty solid match. There was a nice super kick that I liked. It was hit by Ty Dillinger, and like I said, Dillinger was able to transition, pick up Murphy, and hit the fireman's carry, and hit the knee to the back of the head for the victory. So it's nice to see the Perfect 10 get a rare win on NXT. I don't remember the last time when Ty Dillinger got a win on NXT, but I do like Ty Dillinger. I see potential in him. It would be nice to see him get a decent push on NXT, because he really hasn't had one to date. But hopefully this match will lead to the start of that. We then had this awesome sit-down interview between Finn Balor and Samoa Joe. It was hosted by Corey Graves. This is why I like NXT so much. It's the little things that they do well, and when they do them well, they're awesome. I really like the back-and-forth exchange between Balor and Joe, the level of seriousness from Joe, the way that Joe just completely swatted down everything that Finn Balor said to him. He pretty much blew him off. Joe said he's the champion. You never gave him an opportunity. And Balor said there are a ton of other guys in the locker room, and you just think because you're Samoa Joe, you should be entitled to a title match. It doesn't work that way. And they pretty much had a war of words. Things got pretty heated. It was awesome. We need to see more of this, especially on the main roster. I would love to see sit-down interviews brought back. Just really brings the tension to the forefront between these two opponents, and like I said, this was all around good stuff. I enjoyed this interview segment. So if you have the network and you must watch one thing on NXT this week, go out of your way and watch this sit down interview. Cannot wait for the steel cage match next week between Balor and Joe. It's going to be freaking awesome. After this, we had Samson versus Austin Aries. The match itself was okay. The one nice thing I have to say was it was great to see Aries get the submission victory after he locked in the last chancery for the tap-out victory. And then after the match, Aries got on the mic and he said that at NXT TakeOver, he proved the spotlight should be focused on him. They were chanting Nakamura at him. They were booing what Aries was saying. So I slowly see Austin Aries transitioning into a heel. I think that would better suit him on NXT. Not that I don't like him as a babyface, but in a way I felt like he's kind of been lost in the shuffle the past couple of months on NXT, and I really feel like a heel turn would be well suited for Aries. So we'll have to see where they go with that in the weeks to come, and especially moving forward with Austin Aries' big match against Nakamura next week. Looking forward to that match very much so. We then had, I thought was the match of the night by far. It was the Revival versus Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Like I said, these two teams went out there. They had a very solid tag team match for the amount of time that they were given. They were able to hit all their nice spots. There was a nice back suplex hit by Dawson, on Johnny Gargano. Eventually, towards the end of the match, when it looked like Dawson would have Gargano after hitting the superplex off the top rope, Gargano was able to turn that into a small package, and surprisingly, Gargano and Ciampa were able to walk out with the victory over the number one contenders. So like I said, it was great to see that happen. Didn't expect Gargano and Ciampa to walk out as the victors, but like I said, on NXT, anything can really happen, and yeah, very solid tag team match, and definitely my match of the night. And then finally we had, well, I have to say, after the match, the assault was implemented by the Revival on Gargano and Ciampa. Eventually, this would lead to the American Alpha coming out to the ring, brawling with the Revival, and they would eventually make the save. So, further building to their upcoming rematch at TakeOver, the end. And then finally, it was the NXT Women's Title contract signing between Nia Jax and Asuka. It was a short segment, but I felt like it was short, sweet, to the point. Nia Jax made her statement. She said she broke Bayley. She's going to be the one to defeat Asuka, and she is not intimidated by Asuka at all. And Asuka told Nia Jax, "You talk too much." Asuka shouted at Nia Jax in Japanese, and then Asuka landed a series of kicks to the head and leg kicks and punches, and Asuka tried to get a head kick in, but Nia Jax was able to counter and hit the powerbomb on Asuka. She left the NXT Women's Champion laying flat. That's how we close out this week's edition of NXT. Overall, I enjoyed this week's episode of NXT from start to finish, and if I had to give this week's episode a grade, I would give it a B+. B+ for this week's edition of NXT. So once again, I want to apologize for this review being up late, but thank you all for watching this video. Please click that like and subscribe button for more video content coming soon to this channel. Thank you for all that have stuck with me, all my 190 subs, and thank you to all the new subscribers as well who help continue to grow this channel, because without you, none of this is possible. So I just want to say thank you. That's it, guys. I got to go watch Game 3, Stanley Cup Final, Penguins and Sharks at 8 p.m. So all I have to say to end this video is, let's go Pens. Peace.